Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Debra Kasowski. Today we are talking about focusing only on what you can have control over. There's going to be 3 things that I'm going to talk about today that really dive into why it is that we get so taken off track and how we can get back into control. Stay tuned. Is that our thoughts indeed impact our emotions. So when you have a thought about yourself, about an action you want to take and moving forward, you trigger that thought before the emotion is experienced. So if, let's say you're thinking, I would like to take on this new goal, new initiative. Let's say it's, getting more active as an example. So let's say you're going to go swim and you're going to swim 3 times a week and right away your thought is, oh yeah, you tried that before. I don't know if you can do that. How many laps you're going to do? And you have this ongoing dialogue in your mind of what's possible for you based on previous experiences. See, because your brain looks for patterns of what it has done previously. And when we keep our attention in the past, it is so hard to get out of that rut and move more into the present. And then you're looking at your future self, wondering if you're ever going to get to what you see. So you have tied up energy there. And we want to put that past and future energy and bring it to the present so that you can put your focus and energy on the here and now. Where are you right now when it comes to your goals? And I'm here to tell you it starts with the small things. The small shifts make the biggest difference. And it starts with focusing on what you can control. So with those thoughts and emotions, there is those negative thoughts that will pop in because we have 50 to 70,000 of thoughts per day, majority of being negative, a majority being thoughts you thought the same as yesterday. So you can see where there's some rumination of certain thoughts, certain beliefs about yourself. Now you're moving into 2022. You know you want something new for you. You know you want to, move past some of those stories you told yourself. Move past some of the habits that you know are not serving you. And you are looking at, okay, there is a bright light for me. I know I can step into a different person of who that is still to be. And if you envision it, it is yours. And it starts with being very intentional. So when you think about intention, I want you to think about for 2022, what is that big word that is going to be your trajectory? It's going to be your focus, and it's going to help you elevate your game. So my word is elevate. I've been working on this word for the whole last quarter of the year, thinking about what is the word that I want to represent 2022. And elevate is my word. So think about that, the word that's going to drive you for 2022, and keep that word in front of you in some way. Maybe it could be a sticker on your computer, it could be a little sign on the wall or whiteboard, that word, is going to be that word that you look at and you connect with, emotionally connect with. It's very important that there's an emotional connection to your word. And the reason is, if you're not emotionally connected, you can get rid of that word just like that, and you won't think anything of it. So for me, elevate has an emotional connection. It makes me think of just reaching for victory. It's epic. It is transformational. It is so many different things. And I want you to pick out what word is going to represent that for you. Now, getting back to focusing on what we can control. So first of all, we can focus on the thoughts that we have that drive the emotions, because that emotion that we feel is going to really dictate how we act or behave to get the results that we want. So catch your thoughts. When you catch yourself moving to a negative thought, steer it to more positive thinking. Steer it so that you know that you're in control of that thinking. That you don't have to, trash yourself, or, there's that self-depreciating humor that people use. It is not helpful. Be impeccable with your word. And that starts with you. So be impeccable with how you speak about yourself, speak to yourself, and really be clear on the person that you wish to be in 2022. Now, being impeccable with your word is not as easy as it seems, because when something doesn't go right, what do? Man, that was stupid, that was dumb. And you want to shift that from not being your focus. You are powerful beyond measure. You are brilliant, you are strong, you are smart, and you can do amazing things. It starts with focusing on what you control. Focus on the thoughts that you have so you can experience the emotions that you want that are going to transform into the actions and behaviors, and ultimately, what is it? Those results you've been looking for. So it starts there. Get the results you're looking for, and then you can start celebrating some of those things that are a byproduct of how you focus on your thinking. See, what happens is we often can get distracted and detoured because, especially when things don't go as planned, all of a sudden we start ruminating on what's not working and we forget of the things that are working. And so I want you, first of all, you can control your thoughts. Second is controlling your reaction to situations when they don't go right. And even when they do go right, make sure you're staying in that place of looking at the big picture. And if things don't go right, so look for the lesson. What is it that I'm supposed to take away from this situation? Anything that happens in your life, it's feedback. So you need to look at this feedback and ask yourself, what am I meant to learn here? We want to be able to make those small shifts, even if they're the slightest correction, saying, you know what, you'll do better next time. You got this. I'm going to learn a little bit more. So what happens is we have all of a sudden this gap in knowledge. And when we have a gap in knowledge, what happens? We get curious. We're kind of interested, like, why is it that something's not working from A to B? And let me figure it out. That's where the possibilities come in. There is a gap that you need to figure out. It makes you investigative. It gets exciting when you really think about it, to find out how you can solve your own things that come up in life that aren't going your way, that you can redirect them, but it takes effort. And because you put in effort, it makes it all more meaningful along your journey. Now, first of all, we said we can control the thoughts. We can take a look at our reaction versus responsiveness when we look at a situation, and also avoid getting caught up in that rumination, right? When things aren't going well, because we get stuck on what's wrong versus what's right. Is focus on one thing at a time that you want to shift. Because that one thing, if you pick the one thing that makes the biggest impact, it's going to ripple to other parts of your life. And I'm telling you right now, it is completely amazing. Where you put your focus and attention, that's where you're going to start seeing the shifts that occur. Now, one of the things that I often talk about on this podcast, and people, think, oh, Deb, my environment. Yes, your environment that you are in makes a big difference. It makes a big difference of how you feel in your space, how you act and respond in that space, how you perform in that space. So if you have an office that's completely cluttered, do you think that you are going to be thinking clearly? If it doesn't have good lighting, it doesn't have any life in there, that you don't feel energized. Remember when I said your word has to be emotionally connected? Well, so does your space that you live in. But it all starts, do you make your bed in the morning? Do you walk into a space? Some people say, no, I don't make my bed. I want to just jump in and I want to dive in. So when you go to a hotel, do you ever notice that it's very minimalistic? This is why we like going on vacation. There's all this space and all of this thing, and we jump into a tightly formed bed. So one of the things is if you get some of these small disciplines done every single day, drinking enough water, getting the exercise, doing your thing, you are going to create greatness in yourself by forming these small disciplines, by being accountable for your word, being responsible for your actions, and really stepping into someone who walks their talk, does what they need to do, and gets stuff done. So it is the small things that are going to make the biggest difference. Start with your own environment. Start with things that are in your control. Because after all, who's responsible for you? You are. And who's going to get the results for you? You are. And, it's not that you're doing this all alone, because it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes collaboration to build an empire, whether it be in your life, whether it be in your leadership, whether it be in your business. All of these principles are transferable. But what I want you to do is focus in on what is in your control. Recognize when things go off track. Just ask yourself the simple question, what is in my control? And if I were to walk through your home or your office and walk through, I could tell you what matters to you, what and where your focus is. So when you look at your focus and know what's important to you, you will make things happen. Remember, it starts with small shifts, and it starts with you.